Welcome to the Holistic Path podcast, where we explore mindful living, conscious choices, and the deeper connection between body, mind, and spirit. I am your host, and I am so glad you are here. Let us take a gentle step forward together.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into something, well, frankly quite surprising. It's about the potential of bee venom in fighting cancer.
That's right. Specifically, a key component in the venom called melittin.
Melittin. And get this, the really eye-opening part for me was finding out that in lab studies, this melittin can apparently wipe out cancer cells completely.
And fast. We're talking less than 60 minutes in some experiments.
Under an hour. That's pretty staggering.
It really is. So today, we're going to dig into the science, how this natural compound actually works its magic at the molecular level.
Okay, let's do that. Because you hear natural substance, you don't always think precision molecular weapon. How? How does it actually do that?
Okay.
Especially without harming everything else.
That's the key question, isn't it? So melittin, at its core, acts a bit like a molecular perforator.
Yeah.
It specifically targets the outer membrane of the cancer cell, its protective layer.
The lipid bilayer.
Exactly. It basically punches tiny holes, nanoscale pores, right through it.
Nanoscale pores.
Yeah.
Okay. And what happens then?
Well, water rushes in, the cell swells up like a balloon, and pop, it bursts. It's a process called necrotic cell death. It's quite a direct physical disruption.
A physical destruction. So does that make it harder for the cancer cells to, fight back, to develop resistance?
That seems to be a major advantage. Because it's a structural attack, not just blocking one specific biochemical pathway that the cell might find a workaround for. It's much harder to evolve resistance to having your wall physically punctured.
Right, that makes sense. It's a brute force approach almost. But you mentioned it's not just punching holes.
Precisely. It's more sophisticated than just that. Melittin also interferes with the cancer cell's internal communication. It blocks crucial signaling pathways they need to, multiply, grow, and even hide from the immune system.
So it's hitting them structurally and cutting off their comms lines. That's quite the strategy.
It is a multi-pronged attack.
But I read it goes even further. Something about the tumor's surroundings, the neighborhood it lives in.
Yes, the tumor microenvironment. This is really fascinating. Studies, especially in mouse models of lung cancer, showed melittin can change that environment. It seems to selectively reduce certain types of immune cells, these M2 macrophages.
And those are the bad guys in this context.
Pretty much. They actually help the tumor grow and suppress the body's helpful immune response. Melittin dials those back, but crucially, it seems to leave the beneficial immune cells alone.
Okay, so it's like selectively weeding the garden around the tumor.
That's a good way to put it. And by doing that, by retuning the immune response locally, it also seems to stop the tumor from building new blood vessels.
Angiogenesis, right. Cutting off its supply lines.
Exactly. It effectively starts to starve the tumor of nutrients and oxygen it needs.
Wow. So it kills the cells, blocks their signals, and messes with their support structure.
Yeah.
That's remarkably complex for something from a bee sting. It sounds almost too good. What are the catches, the hurdles? I mean, surely it can't be perfectly targeted. What about healthy cells?
That's always the critical point with any potential cancer therapy. And yes, ensuring absolute specificity is a challenge. There's evidence it prefers cancer cells, maybe due to differences in their membranes, but getting it only to the tumor safely and effectively, that's still a big area of active research. Delivery systems, minimizing side effects, standard but crucial drug development hurdles.
But still, the potential seems huge, especially you mentioned for aggressive types like triple-negative breast cancer.
Yes, the fact it shows effectiveness there, where conventional therapies often struggle, is what makes it so promising.
Okay, this sounds like a genuine breakthrough at the cellular level, but practically speaking, how do you get enough melittin? We can't exactly set up industrial bee stinging facilities, can we?
No, definitely not. And that's actually another really positive part of this story. Scientists can now make melittin synthetically in the lab.
Synthetically?
Yeah.
So build it from scratch?
Exactly. They can produce a version that's chemically identical to the natural stuff. And the best part, it shows the same cancer-inhibiting properties in tests.
That's huge. So we don't need the bees, which is safer for them and probably gives us a much purer, more consistent product, right?
Absolutely. It overcomes major hurdles of supply, consistency, purity, scalability. It makes further research and potential drug development actually feasible.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. The big takeaway here seems to be melittin's multi-level attack. punching holes in cancer cells, scrambling their signals, even changing the battlefield around them.
Right. A really diverse mechanism of action.
And crucially, the fact we can now make it in a lab opens the door for real-world potential, even if it's still early days.
It definitely does. Clinical use is still a way off, let's be clear. But these findings really highlight the incredible potential hidden in nature or in compounds inspired by nature. It gives genuine hope for finding completely new ways to tackle cancer.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? If bee venom holds this kind of power, what other unexpected powerful remedies might nature still have waiting for us?
What else is out there just waiting to be discovered? It's a compelling thought.
Thanks for walking this path with me today. If this episode resonated with you, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected. Until next time, take care of yourself. And keep moving forward, one conscious choice at a time.